Hi, my name is Dan. This is Engelgeist. Welcome to my channel. For those of you that are new, welcome. Please have a look around. There's all kinds of different sort of content on here. Hopefully you'll enjoy it. For those of you that are returning, welcome back. Thank you for being a loyal viewer and tuning in regularly. I really appreciate it. For those of you that subscribe over on the Patreon page, thank you so very much. It's a huge deal when you subscribe monthly. It just helps to sort of balance out the exchange of all the content I produce. It also helps to keep the content available for those that, can't necessarily afford to pay anything to be able to get the message. So you're not only helping out me, but you also help out others by doing that. So thank you so much for that. This is my daily forecast. I do these every day. So basically for the highest good is the intention of this. It's kind of like your weather report, right? But with cards to sort of look at what is the energy going to be today? What are we focusing on? What are we needing to focus on? I can tell you it's been a couple of wonky weeks just with this Mercury retrograde in the sign of Pisces. A lot of deep stuff is getting dredged up for a lot of people. People are really feeling it. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. It just is what it is. If you're allowing it to be dredged up and not resisting it, it's going to be a hell of a lot painful than if you do resist it. I can tell you that. So today we're doing for Wednesday the 26th of February. This is a timeless message because I believe that spirit is involved in it. So if this video is showing up in your feed and it's not the 26th of February, don't freak out. There might still be a message in here for you that makes sense to wherever you're at in that moment, okay? So you can watch this even though it may not be set for the exact date that it was originally filmed and intended. It's intended to be timeless. So what's the other thing? If you want to support the channel, feel free to do so by liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing. You can like my business page, go over there. Give it a follow and vice versa with my YouTube channel. You can follow me at Engelgeist333 on Instagram. And if you feel so inclined and you want to book a private reading, you can message me either at the Facebook business page or at Engelgeist333 on Instagram. And I will answer any direct messages or questions you might have to personal readings. They're normally done over the phone or via Facebook, over a Facebook video or the phone. If you don't feel comfortable doing your phone, we can connect via Facebook that way. So let's get into the energy for the collective. And just so you know, this is a collective message, so it may ring home with you, and if it doesn't, that's okay too. Okay? So don't worry if say the cards don't resonate. It's just maybe something that you might be working on something completely different, and the greater whole or collective is working on whatever we might see here. Also, a good thing to refer back to in my forecast is the Sunday broadcast, because Sunday is the underpinning of the energy. So it's sort of to be added to what you see every day throughout the week. Those cards sort of add further depth to what you're seeing in today's reading. Okay, and I try and refer back to that. That's why you're hearing me refer to Sunday's cards, or maybe cards that were previous in the week, because I start to see patterns or reasons why one card is showing up because I feel it's being triggered by yet another card, that sort of a thing. Alright, I hope that all makes sense. That was a little long-winded. Let's get started. I'm really glad you're all here. I appreciate your support. Please share this out. It helps me to get the word out. And let's see what's going on for February 26th for all of my viewers. Oh, wow. Okay, so this is that Five of Pentacles. That Five of Pentacles was actually in our Sunday's forecast. Speaking of referring back to the Sunday forecast, this was the ending or the outcome, sort of the tail end of what we were seeing for Sunday. Something's happened, guys. I feel like this is always about sort of compassion, charity, sort of taking some time. Pentacles is the element of earth. It also deals with sort of things of material nature like money. Relationships, and like very deep relationships. It can be both romantic or platonic, familial relationships, that sort of thing. That's how I view Pentacles, right? Is stuff that we deal with on the material plane. This feels like, to me, as I'm looking at this, there's a nurturing that's taking place. The Five of Pentacles sometimes feels like a loss, right? It sometimes feels like this family has lost something, or she's struggling over her child, and maybe her child's health. But to me, this feels like there's actually a healing taking place as I'm looking at this card. To me, this feels like there is, oh, I'm going to get a little sad. Hold on, it's Pisces season, guys. Give me a minute. What I feel like this card is saying to us, and why it's showing up in the midweek, is I feel like something's shifting and changing for us. I think either you guys are paying attention and you're moving the energy quicker, and you guys are getting to the end of the week's card faster, and we're going to actually have some cards that are going to play out this week that maybe aren't going to make sense to us. Either that, or we're going to see this Five of Pentacles for the rest of the week, which I don't want to say let's hope that's not the case, but that could happen. You know, we have had repetitive cards. Certainly we've been haunted by cards before in the past. But I don't feel like this is a haunting. I feel like this is a period of reflection. This is a period of pausing. This is a period of taking stock and inventory and what's going on in our material world, how we're feeling about it, how we're connecting to it, and really kind of reconnecting to it in a sort of deeper, more peaceful, more compassionate manner. This is a beautiful card today. This does not speak to me of the normal Five of Pentacles, like loss, struggle, that sort of a thing. To me, what I'm feeling from this card and when I'm looking at this card is I feel like, let me get my pointer, there's this nurturing in here. And yes, we've gone through some tough times and some sadness, but we're sort of, this child could be not only like an actual physical child for some of us that might be taking care of our children, but this child is also sort of our own inner child, right? Our own deeper selves, and us sort of holding ourselves a bit more dearly today on this Wednesday. And from that like sort of dearness and from that sort of like care, that could self-induced compassion, that sort of reflection and putting the focus on ourselves or maybe those that we love around us, and really honoring that from a deeper, more centered space, I feel like this flower of pentacles blooms in the background. Now, I'm not saying we're going to get some sort of money windfall or anything, but I feel like there's a richness here that money can't buy. There's an opportunity to be had here through this sort of healing, through this sort of caring, through this sort of reconnection to oneself or to those that we love, that actually brings about this quote-unquote like money tree or money flower in the background. We may not be aware of it. Like some of you might be having money issues still, even though you're trying to find compassion within a relationship with a coworker or a sister or a boss or whatever, or within ourselves even, right? But the nurturing, the stopping, the pausing, and the dealing with the present moment of what's going on here in this card, and like the honoring of that and the holding of that. Like to me, this is almost like, ugh, I don't want to get sad. But to me, this is almost like the holding of our sadness, the holding of our fear, the holding of our worry, the holding of our self-doubt. Sitting with it for a moment. Acknowledging it, not running from it, not being afraid of it, not denying it, not shoving it down. When we don't shove it down, what ends up happening is this sort of pentacle, like kind of tree or flower actually blooms, and a gift is given whether we realize it or not. I'm not saying it's an easy gift to have, right? The Five of Pentacles usually signifies a struggle of some sort, but to me there's a peace in this struggle that I'm seeing in this card today. So I'm feeling that the majority of you, maybe not all of you, but some of you that do pause and take that time to go inward and reflect and reconnect to yourself at a very, emotional sort of level, you're going to feel it at a body level. This is the earth aspect of the pentacles, right? You're going to feel it at a body level. You're going to feel it at a place that is that's going to sort of add sort of richness and growth to you. The things that maybe bothered you or the things that were plaguing you are hopefully on their way out, is what I'm feeling with this card. But we have to sort of walk through them, and that's kind of the seated nature of this woman holding this baby, is that like we have to hold that baby, we have to hold that fear, we have to hold that doubt, we have to hold that, that sadness with a sense of compassion for ourselves, or for whomever this child may represent for you in your life, right? We need to hold that space and that relationship, or um, that situation with love, even if it may not be exactly the situation we want it to be. It will grow into something more than we understand, is what I'm feeling, especially with those 5 pentacles sort of growing in the background. This is normally a worry about money card. This is not, to me, feeling like a worry about money. This is about the mending of relationships to me, or the mending of how we see ourselves in our world, where we fit into our world. And as we mend that, as we take that time to be compassionate towards that, we start to shift and grow that world in different ways that we won't be fully aware of. That plant, that 5 of Pentacles sort of flower in the background, we don't see it yet. We don't know it's coming, but it's coming because we're doing ourselves or a situation or someone else's service by acknowledging it and holding space for it, okay? The next card from this Work Your Light deck is called Align Your Life. Now, we've seen this lady a few times before when we worked with this deck. It's interesting to me. This says, what is not aligned or needs to change? And when I think about this 5 of Pentacles, this seems like we are sitting in a sort of meditative space, trying to figure out where we need to place that compassion, where we need to place that love, where we need to place that sort of care. If it's within ourselves, go ahead and do so. If it's within a situation that feels like it's outside of our control, go ahead and do so. If it's within, our financial center and we're feeling sad or helpless, we need to sort of, I don't want to say sit and get stuck in it, but we have to stop running from it. We have to stop and acknowledge it and align our life. Stop letting it shatter us further. If we're holding it from a place of sort of worry, sadness, and I'm not trying to negate anybody's worry or sadness and say that like that stuff doesn't exist, but that stuff can exist, and we can still take time to quiet ourselves and care for ourselves and kind of heal ourselves in a way. And I think from that we allow ourselves, like the confliction that I see in this card, to kind of realign ourselves back up together. And for some of you, it might be, this realignment might take removing somebody from your life, or removing yourself from a job that like sucks the life out of you, or removing yourself from a home that doesn't work anymore, or these are big things that have to take place at an earth-based level, that might feel like losses, that might feel hard to deal with, that might feel overwhelming, but we have to sort of face them. If we face them from a place of peace and love, I think that we're going to actually be in for opportunities for growth that we don't even see yet, that we don't even realize. So keep that in mind today as you move through this Wednesday. Let me go to the grounding stone and see what the grounding stone is. This is just a thought that you would ground in throughout the day. And this is on marble, and it is promise. So you've heard me talk about promise before. I always think of promise in 2 different ways. A promise can be like a pact or a contract that you've made with yourself or with someone else, right? That's sort of like a promise. Our words have power, and when we make promises to people, sometimes we can't keep them, right? Sometimes we have to let them go. And so sort of I feel like, or sometimes we have to let go of promises that people keep to us, in an effort to sort of realign our life and to get to a place where we can sort of move on. I also think of promise in the other side of the coin. When you think of the word the promised land, it's like sort of filled with promise. It's filled with opportunity. It's filled with sort of abundance and the ability to sort of create whatever you want out of it. So I feel like this stone always sort of has a dual meaning to me. With this Align Your Life card and this 5 of Pentacles today, it feels to me like the promises that have been made to you, or promises that you have made to others, maybe need to be reassessed or changed. Maybe they need to be broken altogether. Or maybe there's promises that were broken a long time ago that you need to sort of heal. Maybe there's promises that were made or expectations that were put in place that we assumed were promises that people were unable to deliver upon. And this Five of Pentacles is asking us to sort of heal that. This realign your life is asking us to realign ourselves to that. Let go of that promise, either that we've made to someone else or that someone else has made to us and maybe been unable to keep it. Don't carry that with you anymore. I feel like we had that, I'm going to say this Five of Pentacles showing up in the midweek to me is that energy from Sunday at the end of the week, ending out the week. I'm glad it's here. I have to say, I'm very, very glad it's here at the midweek. I think that something's happening, guys. I think that you guys are moving quicker than you expected this week. I think that you're moving towards through some pain or through some discomfort or through some things that you need to move through so that you can get to this place of being able to sort of realign yourself and feel whole again, feel complete again, and feel that promise again, the promise of life, the opportunities that are there and available to you. I'm going to leave you guys with that as your forecast. I hope that you guys understand this. I hope it makes sense. Please leave me a like, share, a comment, or subscribe. Go easy on yourself this Wednesday. Know that if you nurture yourself and you care for yourself and you focus on your realignment, make a promise to yourself that that's what you are going to do today. That will be your goal and your focus, is you will allow yourself to have that today and allow this sort of tree of pentacles or this flower of pentacles to sort of grow in the background, even though you may not know it's fully there. It might be painful and it might be something where you're not seeing the benefit just yet, but I really truly believe that there is something that's happening from this behavior, from this action, from this actionable sort of focus of realigning ourselves and keeping that promise to ourselves. That's a contract we make with ourselves, right? When we do that, really powerful things can happen. All right, I hope that makes sense. That is your forecast. Again, thank you all for tuning in. Thank you so very much. Have a great Wednesday. I will see you guys again tomorrow for the forecast. Please keep a lookout for that. And have a great day, you guys. All right, bye-bye.